So I got these hair pieces from New Times Hair. I really like them. And amazingly, I just bought this Mandalorian t-shirt. It's extra large. Extra large t-shirt. Straight off the shelf. Fuck me. Do you think there's anything else I need to do apart from not be bald? I reckon there's one more thing I gotta do. And it takes more effort, probably. I'm not happy about that. I keep having to push this down. I'm constantly flexing and trying to stop it from being real. I can't. If the moment I sit down, I've just got to take my belt off. It's just too much. It like freaking hurts, man. And whenever I stand up, it's like, oh man, I'm so embarrassed standing here in my own company. Look, there's not another person for, I don't know, at least 2 kilometers probably. That's not even, I'm not even pretending. I'm fucking pregnant, man. That's what's going on. That back fat, that's permanent fold there. Like, it's getting to the point where it's going to start smelling bad because that fold will be so creased into my skin. Luckily, I lie down every so often, or I sit with a curvature of the spine, which flattens out that. God, all my tits going. It's just all fatness, man. It's just all fatness. That is fat as fuck. Jesus Christ, look at that. If I don't give birth to an alien today, I'll be fucking shocked. Being fat sucks. I used to think it was cool now. It was all the rage. I thought it was fantastic. It was like in vogue. I liked it. Now, I don't think I'm not getting listened to. I'm invisible. I'm fucking nothing now. It's like, look at me. Look, I've got hair. Look, hair. Everyone see I've got hair? Of course you've got hair. Everyone's got hair. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. It's real. But you're fat. Is that what you're looking at? Yeah. That's why we didn't notice you. That's why we didn't answer you when you said, hi, how are you? What's your name? We didn't hear any of that. All we could see was some blurry, fat shadow, silhouette thing. And it eked us out. And we didn't like it. And we turned away in disgust. Look at you. You're fat. I'm fucking fat. So fat. Fucking fat. I'm so fat. I fucking hate it. Extra large as well. What an insult. The fuckers. Extra large. Who do they think they're trying to fucking... See, the thing is, extra large isn't really a size, is it? It's the same thing with hairs per square inch. There is no such thing. It's all fucking 120% density. What the fuck are you talking about? Medium light. Oh, but our medium light's different from the other medium light from the other company. Oh, that's Asian small. Oh, sorry. They don't have... Is there an Asian small? You know when you're buying clothes, it's like, oh yeah, this extra large, but for Asians, right? Because their extra large is like tiny. I don't think they have extra large Asians. I mean, but they're sumo wrestlers, so they have to be. I just don't see. When I think of Asians, I don't think of Israelis or Russians. I don't think of Indians or Pakistanis either. I think of Chinese or Vietnamese but not even Indonesian. I think the most Oriental, the Mongoloids. See, there are 3 races from what I researched, right? There are Caucasoids like me and Indians as well, even though dark skin. It's irrelevant to race, apparently. There are Caucasoids, Mongoloids. They're Chinese, American Indian, right? And then there are Negroids, which is confusing for me. Obviously Africans, and African Americans, or African, whatever the hell country they come from, if they want to put a hyphen. I just know that in America, they hyphenate everyone. Anyway, so the thing is, I've heard Australian Aborigines have their own race, their own subspecies. Like my subspecies is Caucasoid. And apparently Aborigines are not Negroid. They're definitely not Mongoloid, and they're definitely not Caucasoid. So I have heard that they have their own. Now, when it comes to Maori, I'm part Maori. I never know how to pronounce it because it sounds stupid when I put on the voice and say it properly. Maori, that's what they say. I don't know if they're even Negroid. Like, they're probably descended from Mongoloid, really. All of the Pacific Islanders are probably more to do with Mongoloid, initially. It's like an offshoot, isn't it? Like, I can't really tell where people like, I don't know, what are they called in the people in Brazil and stuff? What are they called? Pardu or something? And then there's, Arabs. They're basically just Caucasoid, aren't they? And then there are Indonesians. Dark skin, a little bit Oriental. See, they're almost like Oriental in the same way that Pacific Islanders are Oriental. Now, Oriental is the look of a particular stream of Mongoloid. I don't know how that breaks down. But the interesting thing is, like, skin color doesn't come into race. It might come into subspecies. Like, if you want to break down Caucasoid into multiple sections, you could break that down into subspecies, because Caucasoid includes Anglo-Saxon, which is a blend of Anglos and Saxons. I don't even know where those two groups come from. I assume Anglo means England. I don't know where Saxony or Saxon mean, where that comes from. Is that Germany or something? And then there are Indians and Pakistanis. They're Caucasoid as well. Same racial group. So I don't know. Anyway, some of them are fatter and some of them are smaller. But I guess it's to do with what you eat. Because when I was a kid, Asians were always short. And then sort of as we grew up together, because there were lots of Asians in my class and everything, my generation, because like the second generation Asians were who I grew up with. There was a huge amount of immigration from Asia when I was a kid, or just before I was born, and also during my childhood as well. So I grew up with a lot of Chinese. My first girlfriend was half Chinese and stuff like that. My best friend from school, one of my best friends, half Chinese. So a lot of half castes. Anyway, hardly any Africans in Australia. I'd say I've seen, before the recent times, if I go to the poor suburbs now, I can probably see a lot of them. But before 10 years ago, I'd probably seen a total of 100 Africans in Australia. That's it. And I'm not talking about the white Africans, as who come from Africa, the continent, but I'm talking about the noir, the absorbers, the ones who do not reflect a lot. I hadn't seen one for the first 30 years of my life, like maybe 100 in my whole life, that's it. Seen a lot of Fijians and all sorts of different black people of different colours, like Indians and stuff. But no Africans, strange. Australia's a very white country. We basically raped and murdered all the Aborigines when we got here, but they're not Africans, so they don't count either. But if I'm going to count them separately, obviously, I'm not going to count them with the Africans. I'd say in my life before 10 years ago, I'd only seen about 100 Aborigines in my whole life for the first 30 years of my life. Yeah, Australia is a very wild country. I'd say if you're going to say we're racist, it would be against Asians. Initially, when I was growing up, it was against Italians, who are really just Caucasoid anyway. It's just the whole language thing, you know. And also that they had a cultural difference because they really stuck together like a close-knit family group. And but the thing is, they really did integrate. So there are a lot of Italian. I went to school with a lot of Italians. Like, I think half my class when I was a kid was Italian. They had Woggy accents. And then Wog in Australia means Italian and Greek, Mediterranean. And Wog in England means like nigger. It's a bad word apparently. I don't know. It's like the word fanny in America. It just means bum, but in all the proper English-speaking countries like Australia, it means vagina. That's why everyone laughs when the theme song for The Nanny comes on, because that's just wacky. And to think they didn't know. Then again, we had a show called Wogs Out of Work or something. So, but that was a show by Wogs. They made it. So it's weird, isn't it? Because they would have toured England, but they couldn't have kept the same name when they toured England. Because a lot of Australian television ends up in England. Because they like to see sunshine once in a while, I suppose. Like this. This is what Australia really looks like. This, everywhere around here, just kangaroos everywhere. And deer. The deer aren't native, but they hang out. If you ever see deer, they sort of hang, they like the clearings, so they can keep an eye on things and run around freely. Yeah, but if you make a noise, they just stop and stare at you. Yeah. Yeah, I think any sort of fresh immigration leads to unrest, which could be construed as racism. But I've been listening to Sam Harris, who thinks that people are saying you're a racist, which, you know, has the connotation of you're a pedophile almost, right? Same sort of like leaning. You're that evil. But people like to say it, and it's like calling somebody out, saying that would shut somebody up for sure, right? And it's just going straight for the jugular. It's just incredibly cheap insult. 90% of the time it's just bullshit. 99% of the time it's bullshit. People just want to get reputation points. I've talked about that before. But I do want reputation points a little bit because I don't want to have a fucking alien growing inside me. Because look at the fucking thing. It's crazy. Look at that. My ass is always hanging out of my pants. And I always have I never do my belt up anymore. I just leave it like that all the time. So that's it. When I sit down, all right, I might as well fart when I walk. That's how fat I look right now. Will you marry me? Oh, I've got to fix this.